Hello, welcome to Network. My name is Phumelele Zondi with your technology and social media news. SABC Network on Facebook, X and Instagram. Use network at sabc.co.za on email. This week, our X poll is asking you if you think South Africa has space for more online retailers as Amazon is coming to South Africa later in the year. Results of that are coming up later in the program. Firstly, here's what's coming up in this episode. We look at why it's important for parents to check the time their children spend online and the content as well. We find out about AI phones. And in our conversation, we talk about people who use social media to try and latch on the individuals that they find and use them for very sinister things. In many countries around the world, there are very strict laws about grooming children online. This is something that you find people doing on social media and even on online video games. That's why it's important for parents to check the time that their children spend online and also to check what they are doing online as well. Asanda Khumalo will be doing his first year in civil engineering at the University of Johannesburg this year. The Pietermaritzburg native says even though he did well in matric in 2023, his results could have been better had it not been because of spending too much time on his mobile devices.
I spend about a lot of hours, maybe 6 hours plus on my mobile device. It's usually on YouTube, TikTok and Facebook, social media most of the time. It's usually just watching content for most of the time.
The 17-year-old says he feels teenagers in school should have a technology timeouts.
I should be monitored because it really does act as a distraction, but now I can control myself and there are softwares that are in place that help you to monitor your spending on social media.
Elsewhere in Pietermaritzburg, Lubanzi often argues with his grandparents who want him to do activities and not spend so much time on his phone. The grade 6 learner's time is usually spent playing games and watching short videos.
When my grandpa takes my phone away, it's depressing because I'm usually having fun with it, like playing games and yeah.
He lives with his grandparents who have the task of monitoring his online activity.
The time should be monitored because in order to teach him to learn at different tasks at different times.
There have been a number of academic studies questioning whether social media is good for minors. Mental health practitioner Dr. Winnie Ngobo says parents should guide their children's activity online.
It is important to monitor children on social media because if children cannot be monitored on social media, it can drive them to other vulnerable conditions that has to do with mental health.
Dr. Ngobo says too much online activity and the nature of what children are exposed to, especially when unmonitored, could lead to mental health complications for children, a view supported by some academic studies.
Because they are always confined and focusing on social media, they end up thinking that they can also do what older people are doing, and that is very much wrong.
Parents who want to monitor their children's activity online can look for apps that can assist. These can include the Google Family Link, Kaspersky Save Kids, and Nat Nanny. When kids are not online, they can consider good old puzzles, Lego, and maybe even reading. Artificial intelligence has come into a lot of spaces, and this time we are even seeing it in mobile devices. Let's look at how it actually works in mobile telephony.
There is an increasing trend of businesses and brands interacting with consumers through conversational chat channels. Companies are using technology solutions such as generative artificial intelligence and ChatGPT to empower and elevate their business results.
A robust CRM system, that's a customer relationship management system. This will enable businesses to understand customer behavior, preferences, and customer history. Then we can also look at things such as data analytics and machine learning. The machine learning algorithms will be able to assist businesses to analyze customer data, identify patterns, trends, and predictive insights.
Chidoma says it is important for companies to respect the South African law on the protection of personal information. He added that these technologies will not completely replace human jobs.
The way I see it, I think it's going to streamline how businesses operate. So there's two elements to it. So the one you mentioned now is maybe more based on contact center, call centers, right? Because obviously the chatbot will be able to deal with the frequently asked questions and all of that. We believe that it's actually going to make contact centers more efficient by freeing up time for contact center agents to deal with the more important questions or issues that customers bring forward.
We cannot hide from the fact that a lot of people are not technology savvy. Not everyone will pick up on cyber scams, especially those customized to one's needs. Dark web expert Abdul Musa says data collected via different chat channels make it easy for scammers.
So data privacy is a concern because, where do people get your data from? And some of the cases it's not only around what you're searching for, but it goes deeper where somebody might profile you through what you're doing on a specific social media platform. So if put into the wrong hands, it can open the floodgates to be abused. And as you're aware, the more information people obtain about you, you get into a position where the new way of doing scams becomes a reality. And what has happened now, or what is currently happening, service providers are selling their information amongst each other.
Abdul shared his advice on what people should look out for with scammers.
So I think it comes down to doing some research. Unfortunately, things have become so complicated that from the surface of just looking at a digital store or a website, it's not easy to pick up that it's a fake site. People are using what we call digital certificates. In the past, you would get a warning on an app or a browser that says the site's not secure, there's an issue with that. But technology has become so advanced that even those things are not popping up anymore. So when you click on the site, it completely looks legitimate. The company's got a contract with the payment provider that is legitimate because they've got registered accounts. You literally have to go and look at reviews, which is quite important.
We spoke to a few people in the technology spectrum to find out what they think about conversational chat channels in South Africa.
Platforms like WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger are integral to our daily communication, serving both professional and personal needs. They offer a unique advantage in South Africa, working efficiently even on low bandwidth connections, which is essential for facilitating seamless interactions with businesses without having to do a physical visit.
I think it's really a good thing. I think it promotes accessibility, and it's also a very quick way for information to spread through to the masses of South Africa, because there's so many channels that people can actually get information through, or whether it's on their phones, through social media, through
With a lot of people still working from home, there's some cases where people work with people in different cities, different provinces, different countries in some cases, and it keeps on evolving, and they're starting to, or one thing that I'm starting to appreciate is how that's starting to take privacy and security a bit more seriously.
This innovative technology enables businesses to engage in personalized virtual interactions that resemble human conversations, marking a significant shift in how companies can engage with their customers. The aim for this advancement is to usher in a new era of customer engagement and operational efficiency, but companies need to keep in mind safety and security for people.
Sometimes you'd be minding your business online and you'd realize that your computer or your phone knows you better than you think it should, but that could be AI at play.
Innovation in the smartphone industry has been relentless, with brands constantly tweaking features like camera quality, battery life, or screen size. Just when it seemed like we had hit a plateau, the introduction of artificial intelligence has revitalized the game. Samsung, a leader in the market, has now embraced this cutting-edge technology.
Artificial intelligence is something new, but over the last couple of years, it has been a buzz. And we have seen already, it's not Samsung that started with it, but because we had already had Google Pixel, just that they only focus on a niche. But Samsung, they're bringing it on a grand scale. And this is something that we're going to start seeing with a lot of the other brands, also integrating AI. Apple has already indicated with the iPhone 16 that they're going to also incorporate artificial intelligence into their devices.
At the launch event for the Galaxy S24 series, Samsung emphasized their significant integration of AI, particularly generative AI, into their devices.
AI as a technology, we've been a lot of hype about it. There's been discussions through 2023, a number of generative AI tools coming to market, but that hasn't come to a mobile device, not in a true sense at all. What we've done is we've taken the technology out of what's been put out there, and we put it into this mobile phone. And what I love about it is that it's taking things like large language models. It's AI having a very naturalistic conversation with us. It's understanding who we are, understanding the context of the questions that we're asking, the environments that we are in. And that power, we believe, is now democratized. It is in the same way that a smartphone gave you access to the internet. It gave millions of people access to the internet. The smartphone is giving everybody access to true AI capability.
At the launch event, attendees shared their impressions of the new Galaxy S24.
The one thing I found interesting is the translation to speech or text. In my mind, I was in Rwanda just a couple of months ago, and communicating. Some of them speak French and English, and communicating was so you had a lot of barriers in communication. I was just imagining how easy that would have been if I could easily speak in English and they respond in French, and we're able to have a communication in real time. So being able to have that conversation on a phone call, I think that was the exciting part for me. I'm curious though to see if our local languages, if Venda is there, if I can do it in isiZulu, in Pedi. If that's the case, then this just blows this whole thing apart. I'll be excited about that.
I think Samsung have made a really bold and clever move by, running with. Last year we saw AI was everywhere. AI was definitely the dominant trend of 2023. So I think the fact that they picked the ball up and run with that this year is a really good and smart move from their side. I think it's an exciting move in terms of what we've seen tonight in their approach to AI. A lot of it being much more user assistant.
However, as excitement builds for the future of AI-enhanced smartphones, industry experts caution that ensuring user privacy and data security remains paramount. As technology advances, it is crucial for manufacturers to prioritize these concerns to maintain consumer trust and confidence in AI-driven devices.
Most people were very skeptical of using AI because of those privacy issues. But if you then go and look at it now, you'll find that there are security features that are being updated with these smartphones, and it's not as easy as people would put it to just say, you can see what your main is doing, you can do A, B, C, D. Because even if you look at the iPhone 14, iPhone 15, they've got that feature that if you're involved in a car accident, it can quickly detect and alert someone that so and so is involved in an accident. It's not as easy as that. You have to activate these things, you have to accept, and you have to understand the security challenges that might be presented. But but mostly they try to make sure that security is a top priority, especially given that the type of markets where these devices are mainly targeted for, which is mostly Europe. Security is a top priority.
The Galaxy S24 release comes after news that Apple topped Samsung in 2023 smartphone shipments. According to data provider International Data Corporation, Apple dethroned the South Korean smartphone maker for the first time since 2010 as demand for premium devices, a segment Apple dominates, outpaces market growth. Maybe this newly launched Galaxy range might just help Samsung reclaim its number one spot internationally.
SABC Network on Facebook, X and Instagram. After the break, we chat about those people who use social media to try and lure individuals they want to do sinister things. SABC Network on Facebook, X and Instagram. Use network at sabc.co.za on email. Welcome back. Now, the FBI in the United States of America has warned of predators who use social media in order for them to target children. And there have been many reports about predators who also use various online gaming platforms to groom children to do whatever it is that they'd like to do. But we've also heard of even serial killers here in South Africa who target adults as well to lure them into various spaces where they then do the unthinkable. To talk to us about all of this is Preetesh Sewraj. He is the CEO of The Loeries. Hello, and thank you very much for being a part of our network, Preetesh. Maybe if you can start by explaining how predators actually use these online spaces.
I think it's quite common knowledge that there are a lot of predators online, which is why so many parents have this fear. And the reason why they're online, they feel so safe is one, the anonymity that they can get in a social media platform. As you know, anyone can go on and create a profile and put any data on it and be able to go out and chat to other kids itself. Also, if you look at it in terms of the environment we have right now, in terms of security controls for most kids, there aren't any. Most social media platforms don't truly have effective security protocols to protect kids from online predators itself. So it's this dual issue of predators being able to then easily be able to access these networks, but then also kids being able to easily access them means that ultimately they're going to meet online.
Is there anything that parents can do in order for them to protect their children on social media especially?
I think one of the key things is one, decide whether you want your child on social media. If you do want them on social media, then you need access to all of their login details and all of this. So your child should never have unfettered access to any social media platform. And also then look at social media platforms that are really taking a responsible role in terms of child safety itself. I know platforms like TikTok, for example, take this really, really seriously and internally think about this and try and put measures in place to protect young people. So being able to ensure that your child's on the right platform, but also not just on the right platform, but that you have access to their accounts to see who they're engaging with is going to really assist parents in protecting their children.
But it's not just social media. There are also other platforms.
The challenge that you have with the internet in general is, the analogy of it being a road is really, really great because a road is great, but a road can be used to transport drugs, can be used to transport weapons, any illegal merchandise that's out there. And it's the same thing with the internet. The internet's a space where there are a lot of unscrupulous people who are going to use this and to use it to target children itself. So vigilance is really important with parents as well. Being able to watch your child's behavior, being able to check if they're displaying behavior where they're becoming a little bit more secretive with their phone use or computer use, not wanting you to touch their devices. That's key warning signs. And you need to be able to check their devices and to be able to check their browsing history as well. So that's really, really important.
We've heard of adults falling prey to especially serial killers who use platforms like Facebook and others. What should they do? How can they protect themselves?
Dating apps, as you've highlighted, you've got catfishing that happens across the board as well. So whether it's catfishing to somebody who's looking to commit a crime or somebody who just wants to sell you cryptocurrency, it is a challenge out there to protect yourself as an adult. Some of the key things that you can do, first and foremost, social media platforms, don't accept accept invitations or connections from anyone that you don't know. That's the first and foremost. Second thing these days as well, even if you do get a connection request from someone you know, or somebody follows you on a platform you think you know them, be very, very wary. There's a lot of people who are having their identity stolen right now, and it's very easy for people to pretend to be someone.
Preetesh, does the law ever assist in these cases?
Absolutely. I mean, the law is there, and there's, the law is still catching up to the advances that are happening in criminality on these platforms itself. But you absolutely do have recourse through the law itself. If you do find one that your identity has been stolen, you do have the recourse of complaining not just to the social media platform, but also to lay a criminal charge at any police station itself. And then ultimately, as you go down this route, and if you do identify and you uncover a serious threat to yourself or your child, again, reporting it to law enforcement, ensuring that they have the ability to investigate it, may be able to give you an additional layer of protection, especially in cases where these criminals have uncovered very personal details such as where you live or where you work or any of that kind of information.
All right, thank you very much for being a part of our network, Preetesh. Preetesh Sewraj, there he is, the CEO of The Loeries. It's SABC Network on Facebook, X and Instagram, News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Don't go away. It's SABC Network on Facebook, X and Instagram. Welcome back. Here's what else took place in the rest of the world in the tech space.
China's BYD, the world's biggest electric vehicle maker, last week unveiled 3 battery EV models in Indonesia as it seeks to expand its presence in Southeast Asia's biggest economy.
We are pleased to announce that our progress aligns with the government's directives, and we are on track to commence the construction of our facilities later this year as planned. Furthermore, as part of our long-term commitment, we envision building an EV ecosystem and fostering development in Indonesia.
Indonesia is seeking to accelerate EV adoption and lower investment into local battery production and EV supply chains that can take advantage of the country's rich reserves of nickel, a key battery material. And now in the USA. Humanoid robots are poised to play a greater role on Earth and beyond in the coming years. Standing at 6 feet 2 inches tall and weighing 300 pounds, NASA's humanoid robot Valkyrie is an imposing figure.
Any time that we spend with the robot to make preparations for the crew saves the crew that much time and gives them more time to spend on exploration and discovery. So we're not trying to replace human crews, we're really just trying to take the dull, dirty, and dangerous work off their plates to allow them to focus on those higher level activities.
Apptronik CEO Jeff Cardenas said the sky's the limit as Apollo is continually developed, tested, and installed with new software. Still in the USA. French personal care company L'Oreal unveiled new physical and digital products at the Consumer Electronics Show last week.
We have found the perfect solution. We have created the perfect beauty advisor whenever you want and wherever you are. Let me introduce you to L'Oréal Paris Beauty Genius, our first virtual personal beauty advisor.
Actor Eva Longoria, who started creating commercials from home for L'Oreal during the COVID-19 pandemic, also joined the presentation to showcase the company's new Colorsonic automatic coloring brush aimed at helping those who want to color their hair at home.
With American tech giant Amazon coming to South Africa to launch various products, including an online store. This week, our X poll is asking if you think that there's space for more online stores in the South African retail sector. That's it. That's all we have for you. Find us on SABC Network, on Facebook, X, and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za. On email from Ms. Phumelele Zondi and the rest of the team. Bye-bye.